Hello, my dear students. My name is Abhishek Gupta, and I am working as Associate Professor in Hygiene Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Lucknow. And today we are going to discuss the topic biosynthesis of amino acids. So, before beginning the topic, we should know that what are amino acids. So, an amino acid is an organic molecule that contains a carboxylic group, means COOH group, and an amine group, NH2, as well as a R group. And this R group can be any group, that can be a methyl group or ethyl group. So, amino acids are derived from proteins and have the amino group on the alpha carbon, that is the carbon next to the carboxyl group. And the amino acids differ in the nature of R group attached to the carbon atom. So if the R group is different, the amino acid will be different, and the nature of the R group determines the properties of the proteins. So in a amino acid, the major key elements are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen, and apart from these, some metal ions also can be present in an amino acid. Amino acids are the structural units that make up proteins. Means proteins are made up of amino acids. They join together, means amino acids join together to form short polymer chains which are known as peptides. And if this chain is long, it will be known as polypeptides or proteins. So these polymers are linear, means they are in a line, not cyclic, and unbranched, means they are not branched, with each amino acid within the chain attached to two neighboring amino acids. Means if amino acid is in the three amino acids are there, if one amino acid is in the middle, it will also be attached to the left side of the amino acid and to the right side of the amino acid. So in proteins, almost all of these carboxyl and amino groups are combined through peptide linkage. Means if we see the structure of amino acid, this is a structure of amino acid. So this is one amino acid and this is the second amino acid. So in this amino acid, the nitrogen of one amino acid is connected to the carboxylic carbon of the other amino acid by this bond. This bond is known as the peptide bond. And if there are two amino acids, the hydrogen of one amino acid is attached to OH of another amino acid, that is the hydrogen bond is present. This is the hydrogen bond that is being present in the amino acids. So when we talk about the synthesis of amino acids, there are basically three steps involved in the synthesis of amino acids. One is reduction of nitrogen to amino group, second is the transamination reaction, and third one is the synthesis of amino acids by metabolic precursors. Coming to the classification of amino acids, means how the amino acids are classified. So amino acids can be classified on the basis of polarity, such as polar or non-polar. So non-polar amino acids are glycine, alanine, valine, leucine, methionine, phenylalanine, proline. The polar amino acids are serine, cysteine, tyrosine, lysine, arginine, glutamic acid, aspartic acid. And the amino acids which contain sulfur are cysteine and methionine. So we can also classify the amino acids depending upon what amino acids we can synthesize in our body and what amino acids we cannot synthesize in our body, and we have to take it from the outside in the form of diet. So the amino acids which we have to take from outside are known as essential amino acids, and the examples are arginine, histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan and valine. Means these amino acids are not synthesized in our body. The amino acids which are synthesized in our body are known as non-essential, and the examples are alanine, asparagine, aspartic acid, cysteine, glutamic acid, glutamine, glycine, proline, serine and tyrosine. And these are some of the structures of amino acids. So this is the structure of glutamine, this is the structure of phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan, glutamic acid. So you can learn the structures of the amino acid from this slide. So coming to the synthesis of amino acid part, I have already told you that synthesis of amino acid takes place in 3 steps. So first one is the reduction of nitrogen to NH4. So it is the first step during the synthesis of amino acids, and in this step reduction of nitrogen to NH4 takes place, and the conversion of nitrogen to ammonia is a reduction reaction which is exergonic in nature. Biological fixation of nitrogen is carried out by highly conserved complex of proteins called as nitrogenase complex. So these nitrogenase complex are nothing but these are type of enzymes which reduce nitrogen to ammonia. The second step in the synthesis of amino acid is the transamination reaction. So transamination is a chemical reaction that transfers an amino group to keto acid to form new amino acid. This pathway is responsible for deamination of most amino acids. So deamination means removal of amino group from the amino acid, and transamination means the transfer of amino group from the amino acid to a keto acid such as alpha ketoglutarate. So this is the one of the major degradation pathway which converts essential amino acids to non-essential amino acids, and transamination in biochemistry is accomplished by enzymes known as transaminases or aminotransferases. So as you have seen in the first step, reduction of nitrogen to amino group is done by nitrogenase enzymes, and the transamination reaction is performed by transaminases enzyme or aminotransferases. Say for example, you have alpha ketoglutarate. As you know, this alpha ketoglutarate is an intermediate compound which is formed in the citric acid cycle. So alpha ketoglutarate acts as a predominant amino group acceptor because this alpha ketoglutarate is a keto acid and produces glutamate as the new amino acid. So when this alpha ketoglutarate gets one amino group, it forms a amino acid known as glutamate. Okay, so when this glutamate gives its amino group, it again forms alpha keto acid. So this is a reversible type of reaction. So glutamate's amino group in turn is transferred to oxaloacetate, and this oxaloacetate is also a intermediate in citric acid cycle or TCA cycle. So when this glutamate gives its amino group to oxaloacetate, it forms aspartate. So this is the chemical reaction what I was talking about. So this is a keto acid, COOH R1 C double bond O. So this ketone is present in this acid, therefore it is known as a keto acid. So this is a keto acid, COOH R1 C double bond O. Because ketone is present in this acid, this is known as a keto acid, and this is a amino acid, COOH R2 NH2, because amino group is present in this complex compound. Okay, so when this amino acid reacts with this keto acid in the presence of the enzyme transaminase, it forms one new amino acid and a keto acid. So this amino acid gives its NH2, and C double bond O is gained by this amino acid, and it formed a keto acid. And when this amino acid gives its NH2 to this keto acid is converted into a new amino acid. So keto acids are organic compounds that contain a carboxylic acid group and a ketone group. So this is an example of keto acid. So the third step in the synthesis of amino acids is synthesis of amino acids by metabolic precursors. So what are metabolic precursors? As I have already told you, in the citric acid cycle, different intermediates are formed, and these intermediates are itself metabolic precursors because they are the precursor for the synthesis of amino acids. So alpha ketoglutarate, oxaloacetate, these are intermediates of citric acid cycle, and because from these intermediates amino acids are formed, therefore these are known as precursors, metabolic precursors for amino acid. So all the 20 amino acids are derived from intermediates in the glycolysis cycle, citric acid cycle, or the pentose phosphate pathway. And when this pentose phosphate pathway and glycolysis are combined, the intermediates are combined, they form shikimic acid pathway, and shikimic acid pathway is also responsible for the synthesis of aromatic amino acids, phenylalanine, tyrosine, and tryptophan. So nitrogen enters this pathway by the way of glutamate and glutamine, because this glutamate gives its amino group to the keto acids and forms new amino acid, and this glutamate is again converted into a keto acid. So it is believed that the pathways in higher plants and animals are similar, because the biosynthesis pathways produces the same type of amino acids, but comparatively less is known of the enzymes involved. So this is an overview of amino acid biosynthesis. As you can see, the pentose phosphate intermediates are shown in the yellow color, the intermediates of glycolysis are shown in sky blue color, and the intermediates of citric acid cycle are shown in green color. So if we'll start from glycolysis, the glycolysis starts from the glucose. So glucose is converted to glucose 6 phosphate. This glucose 6 phosphate, when it goes into the pentose phosphate pathway, it forms ribose 5 phosphate, which is a 5 carbon sugar. This ribose 5 phosphate then through different reactions form histidine, which is a amino acid. Then again this glucose 6 phosphate goes into the glycolysis and forms 3-phosphoglycerate. This 3-phosphoglycerate is responsible for the production of amino acid serine, and this 3-phosphoglycerate forms phosphoenol pyruvate in glycolysis cycle. When this phosphoenol pyruvate combines with erythrose 4-phosphate, which is the intermediate of pentose phosphate pathway, it goes into the shikimic acid pathway. This is the shikimic acid pathway, and in the end of this shikimic acid pathway, 3 aromatic amino acids are formed, that are phenylalanine, tyrosine, and tryptophan. Then coming back to the glycolysis cycle ends with the formation of 2 molecules of pyruvate. This pyruvate again forms through different intermediates 4 amino acids, that are alanine, valine, isoleucine, and leucine, and this pyruvate in the end forms acetyl coenzyme A. This acetyl coenzyme A then goes into various metabolic pathways such as acetate mevalonate pathway, in which it forms different type of steroids and isoprenoid compounds, and this acetyl coenzyme A also goes into acetate malonate pathway, where it forms fatty acids and waxes, and this acetyl coenzyme A also goes into the citric acid cycle. When it goes into the citric acid cycle, it forms citrate, and at the 5th step it forms alpha ketoglutarate. This alpha ketoglutarate, as I have told you in the previous slide, is a keto acid. When this keto acid gets one amino group, it forms glutamate, which is a amino acid, and from this glutamate, glutamine, proline, and arginine are formed. Again, this alpha ketoglutarate through various intermediates, it forms oxaloacetate. This oxaloacetate, as I have told you in the previous slide, gets one amino group from this glutamate. This glutamate gives its own amino group to oxaloacetate, and this glutamate converts back into alpha ketoglutarate, and when the oxaloacetate gets the amino group of glutamate, it forms aspartate amino acid, and from aspartate, asparagine, methionine, threonine, and lysine amino acids are formed. So this is the overall biosynthesis of different type of amino acids. So coming back to more detailed overview of amino acids. So again you can see the same pathways but in little bit more detail. So this is the glycolysis pathway. In this glycolysis pathway, glucose converts into glucose 6 phosphate. This glucose 6 phosphate goes into pentose phosphate pathway and forms ribose 5 phosphate. From this ribose 5 phosphate, phosphoribosyl pyrophosphate is formed, and through different intermediates it forms histidine amino acid. Coming back to the glycolysis, this glucose forms through glucose 6 phosphate, it forms through intermediates 3 phosphoglycerate. This 3 phosphoglycerates again through a series of chemical reaction it forms serine, and from serine amino acid we get glycine, and this serine forms orthoacetyl serine which gets converted into cysteine amino acids. All these compounds written in red are amino acids. So this 3 phosphoglycerates at the 9th step forms phosphoenol pyruvate. This phosphoenol pyruvate combines with erythrose 4-phosphate of pentose phosphate pathway. This erythrose 4-phosphate is found in pentose phosphate pathway, and this erythrose 4-phosphate combines with phosphoenol pyruvate, which is the intermediate of glycolysis. So here two pathways are used, pentose phosphate pathway and glycolysis. Two intermediates are used of these pathways, and they combine through aldol condensation reaction, and through a series of chemical reactions it forms shikimic acid which forms chorismic acid, and from this chorismic acid two compounds are formed. One is anthranilic acid and another one is prefenic acid. Anthranilic acid after 2 steps forms tryptophan, and prefenic acid after 2 steps forms phenylalanine and tyrosine amino acids. So coming back to glycolysis cycle, this pyruvate is formed at the last 10th step of the glycolysis. So this pyruvate through some intermediates forms alpha keto isovaleric acid, and when this alpha keto isovaleric acid goes through transamination reaction it forms valine amino acid, and this alpha keto isovaleric acid also forms alpha keto isocaproic acid, and this alpha keto isocaproic acid through transamination reaction forms leucine. Again I can tell you that this transamination reaction is nothing but the transfer of amino group to these compound, alpha keto isovaleric and alpha keto caproic acid. And this pyruvate also gets one amino group, and pyruvate is converted into alanine amino acid. After this you can see that this pyruvate is converted into acetyl coenzyme A, and as I have told you, this acetyl coenzyme A goes into acetate pathways and citric acid pathway. So when this acetyl coenzyme A goes into citric acid pathways it forms citrate, and at the 5th step it forms alpha ketoglutarate. When this alpha ketoglutarate gets this amino group from transamination reaction it converts into glutamate, and this glutamate after further reactions forms proline amino acid, and from this proline hydroxyproline is formed. This glutamate also forms glutamine, and this glutamate also forms ornithine. This ornithine is also a precursor for different type of amino acids and different type of alkaloids. This ornithine forms citrulline, and from citrulline arginine is formed, and this alpha ketoglutarate goes into the citric acid cycle, and through different reaction it forms malate, and after malate it forms oxaloacetate. This oxaloacetate is also a amino group acceptor, and it gets its amino group from this glutamate. Glutamate gives its own amino group to oxaloacetate, and its glutamate is converted back into alpha ketoglutarate. And when the amino group of glutamate is given to the oxaloacetate, this oxaloacetate is converted into aspartate. Aspartate is a amino acid which after further reactions forms diaminopymylate, and from this diaminopymylate lysine amino acid is formed. This aspartate, after getting amino group, it forms aspargine amino acid, and this aspartate after further reactions forms homoserine. When cysteine amino acid is attached with this homoserine, it forms cristathionine. And from this cristathionine, methionine amino acid is formed. And this homoserine is also converted into threonine amino acid, and threonine is converted to isoleucine amino acids. So, as you can see, that there are 4 pathways involved in this amino acid pathway, biosynthesis of amino acid. First one is the glycolysis, second one is the pentose phosphate pathway, and combination of these pathways forms the shikimic acid pathway, which forms 3 aromatic amino acids, phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan. And this acetyl coenzyme, when gets into the 4th pathway, citric acid cycle, it forms different types of amino acids. So this is the overview of amino acid pathway. So coming to the next slide, here we can see that what type of metabolic precursors from different pathways gives rise to which type of amino acids. As you can see, the ribose 5-phosphate is a metabolic precursor or intermediate of pentose phosphate pathway, and it forms histidine amino acid. Pyruvate is an intermediate of glycolysis cycle, and it forms 3 amino acids, alanine, valine and isoleucine. 3-phosphoglycerate is also a intermediate or metabolic precursor of glycolysis cycle, and it forms serine, cysteine and glycine amino acids. Alpha ketoglutarate is a metabolic precursor of citric acid cycle, and it forms glutamate, glutamine, proline and arginine amino acids. Oxaloacetate is a metabolic precursor of citric acid cycle, and it forms aspartate, aspargine, methionine, threonine, isoleucine and lysine. When phosphoenol pyruvate, which is a precursor or intermediate of glycolysis cycle, and erythrose 4-phosphate, which is a precursor of pentose phosphate pathway, when these two are combined, they form shikimic acid pathway, and shikimic acid pathway gives rise to 3 aromatic amino acids, phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan. So these are the 20 amino acids which are formed by these 4 metabolic pathways: glycolysis, pentose phosphate pathway, citric acid cycle and shikimic acid pathway. So coming to the next slide, here we will see the amino acids that are formed in these pathways one by one. So amino acid precursors are intermediates in glycolysis, citric acid, pentose phosphate pathway and shikimic acid cycle, as I have already told you, and they are used to make nucleotides. Histidine comes from ribose 5-phosphate, that is the product of pentose phosphate pathway, and serine comes from 3-phosphoglycerate, and from serine we can make more amino acids like glycine and cysteine. Tryptophan and tyrosine comes from phosphoenol pyruvate, and pyruvate is used to make alanine, valine, leucine and isoleucine, and this is the glycolysis cycle and pentose phosphate pathways combined. So this is the glycolysis cycle. From here you can see different amino acids that are formed. Okay, and this is the pentose phosphate pathway. From this ribose 5-phosphate and histidine are formed, and this is the erythrose 4-phosphate, which is a metabolite of pentose phosphate pathway. When it combines with phosphoenol pyruvate, which is a metabolite of glycolysis, they goes into the shikimic acid pathway and forms these 3 amino acids: tryptophan, phenylalanine and tyrosine. So this is a overview of citric acid cycle. So we can make aspartate from oxaloacetate, and we can use aspartate to make other amino acids like asparagine, methionine, threonine and lysine. And the glutamate is synthesized from alpha ketoglutarate, and from the glutamate we can make more amino acids like glutamine, proline and arginine. So this is the glycolysis cycle, citric acid cycle. So coming to the synthesis of non-essential amino acids. So this is the same as in the previous slide. Alpha-ketoglutarate, which is the metabolite of citric acid cycle, forms glutamate, and from this glutamate we can get glutamine, proline and arginine. So how this glutamate is synthesized from alpha-ketoglutarate is the same as I've told you in the previous slide, that glutamate is synthesized from reductive amination of 2-oxoglutarate, that is the alpha-ketoglutarate, catalyzed by the enzyme glutamate dehydrogenase. So it is thus a nitrogen incorporating reaction in which the amino acid is reacts with the alpha-ketoglutarate and forms glutamate. So this glutamate dehydrogenase represents an important gateway enzyme in that it can catalyze reactions in two different directions dependent upon the overall cellular energy and metabolic needs. When the body or the plant needs this glutamate, this glutamate dehydrogenase forms the amino acid glutamate, and when the glutamate amino acid is in the sufficient amount, this is again reversed into alpha-ketoglutarate. So when energy and carbon levels are high, glutamate can incorporate nitrogen into 2-oxoglutarate, and which is driven by the increased levels of NADPH generated from oxidation of glucose into pentose phosphate pathway, and this is the reaction of forming the glutamate. So when energy levels are reduced, glutamate can be oxidatively deaminated in the opposite direction, allowing 2-oxoglutarate or alpha-ketogluteric acid to be utilized in the TCA cycle for the production of energy. Means it depends upon the need, that if there is a need of glutamate amino acid, this glutamate dehydrogenase will form the glutamate, and if there is a need of energy production, this glutamate will give its amino group and will again convert it into oxoglutarate or alpha-ketoglutarate and forms the energy. So glutamine synthesis from glutamate. So glutamine is synthesized from glutamate via the action of glutamine synthetase. So this is the enzyme glutamine synthetase, and the synthesis of glutamine is a two-step in which glutamate is first activated to gamma glutamyl phosphate intermediate, followed by the reaction in which ammonia is displaced by the phosphate group. So this is the alpha-ketoglutarate, means it is a keto acid. In this amino group is attached, and in the presence of the enzyme glutamate dehydrogenase, it forms glutamate amino acid. So this is the glutamate amino acid, and you can see that this is the amino group which is replaced here. This ketone group is replaced and this ammonia group is attached. So it forms glutamate amino acid. In the presence of ATP and in the presence of enzyme glutamine synthetase, it forms gamma glutamyl phosphate, which is the intermediate, and when this phosphate group is removed, it forms the amino acid glutamine. Coming to the next intermediate of citric acid cycle, that is oxaloacetate. This oxaloacetate forms aspartate, and from this aspartate, aspargine, methionine, threonine and lysine are formed, and from threonine, isoleucine amino acids are formed. So the same goes with the aspartate synthesis from oxaloacetate. As I have told you in the previous slides, that aspartate is synthesized by the transfer of ammonia group from glutamate to oxaloacetate. Means this glutamate will give its amino group to oxaloacetate, and oxaloacetate will form aspartate, and glutamate will itself convert into alpha-ketoglutarate. So this aspartate can be formed in a transamination reaction. The transamination reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme aspartate transaminase. Okay, and this reaction use the alpha-keto acid oxaloacetate as the amino group acceptor and glutamate as the primary amino group donor. Means this is the glutamate, okay, and this is the amino group present in the glutamate. This amino group of glutamate, and this is the oxaloacetate, and here you can see the keto acid. So this amino group will be transferred to this oxaloacetate, and this keto group will transfer to the glutamate in the presence of enzyme aspartate transaminase, and this oxaloacetate will convert into aspartate amino acid. As you can see, this is the amino acid which is given by glutamate, and this glutamate will convert itself back into alpha keto glutarate, and this is a reversible reaction. So synthesis of asparagine amino acid from aspartate. So asparagine is synthesized from aspartate via an amidotransferase reaction catalyzed by the enzyme asparagine synthetase. So this is the aspartate and this is the glutamine. So when this aspartate will combine with the glutamine amino acid in the presence of enzyme asparagine synthetase, this glutamine will convert into glutamate in the presence of ATP, and this aspartate will get one amino acid of glutamine and will convert into asparagine, and this glutamine will convert back into glutamate. So this is the part of glycolysis cycle in which pyruvate is formed at the end of glycolysis. So this pyruvate, we can get three amino acids: alanine, valine and leucine. So synthesis of alanine from pyruvate. So there are two main pathways for the production of muscle alanine: directly from protein degradation and via the transamination of pyruvate by alanine transaminase. So we will discuss this part, the transamination of pyruvate by alanine transaminase. So this is the structure of pyruvate, which is a 3-carbon compound, and when pyruvate is combined with glutamate, the amino group of glutamate is given to the pyruvate, and in the presence of enzyme alanine transaminase, pyruvate is converted to alanine. As you can see, this amino group is attached to the pyruvate and it gets converted into alanine amino acid, and this glutamate, as it has given its amino group, so it is converted back into alpha keto glutarate, as this is a reversible reaction. So coming to 3-phosphoglycerate, which is also a metabolic precursor of glycolysis cycle. This 3-phosphoglycerate forms serine, and from serine cysteine and glycine amino acids are formed, and this serine is also an amino acid. Sorry. So the synthesis of serine. So serine can be derived from the glycolytic intermediate 3-phosphoglycerate in a 3-step reaction. So the first reaction is catalyzed by phosphoglycerate dehydrogenase, in which oxidation of the hydroxyl group of 3-phosphoglycerate by NAD+ to produce 3-phosphohydroxypyruvate. And the second reaction is a simple transamination catalyzed by the enzyme phosphoserine aminotransferase, which utilizes glutamate as the amino donor and releases 2-oxoglutarate, that is the alpha keto glutarate or alpha keto glutaric acid. The last step in the reaction pathway is catalyzed by phosphoserine phosphatase, and finally hydrolysis and removal of phosphate group yields serine amino acid. So this is the reaction sequence. As you can see, this is the 3-phosphoglycerate, which is a intermediate of glycolysis. This, in the presence of 3-phosphoglycerate dehydrogenase, forms 3-phosphohydroxypyruvate. This 3-phosphohydroxypyruvate, in the presence of enzyme aminotransferase, gets one amino group, and this amino group is given by glutamate, which gives its amino group and forms back into alpha keto glutarate, and it forms 3-phosphoserine. 3-phosphoserine in the enzyme, in the presence of enzyme phosphoserine phosphatase, removes its removal of phosphate group takes place, and 3-phosphoserine is converted into serine amino acid. So synthesis of lysine from serine. The main pathway to glycine synthesis is a one-step reversible reaction catalyzed by the enzyme serine hydroxymethyl transferase. This enzyme is a member of the family of one carbon transferases and is also known as glycine hydroxymethyl transferase. This reaction involves the transfer of hydroxymethyl group from serine to the cofactor tetrahydrofolate producing glycine and N5-pentan methyl THF means tetrahydrofolate. So as you can see, this is the serine molecule and this is the tetrahydrofolate. In the presence of serine hydroxymethyl transferase, this form serine gets converted into glycine and 5,10 methylionate tetrahydrofolate. Coming to the synthesis of essential amino acids, the synthetic pathways for the essential amino acids are present only in microorganisms and they are considerably more complex than non-essential amino acids, and they use familiar metabolic precursors as for the non-essential amino acids, and it shows species variation. So for the purpose of classification, consider the following four families which are based upon common precursors such as aspartate family, that is the amino acids from aspartate that are lysine, methionine and threonine. Pyruvate family, the amino acids are leucine, isoleucine and valine. The aromatic family means the aromatic amino acids such as phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan which are formed from shikimic acid pathway, and histidine. So coming to the synthesis of valine and leucine. So in the overview I have told you that valine, leucine, these are formed by pyruvate which is the precursor in the glycolysis cycle. So the pathway of valine biosynthesis is a four-step pathway. Okay, this in the four-step pathway, the pyruvate in the presence of enzyme acetolactate synthase gets converted into 2-acetolactate. This in the presence of enzyme acetohydroxy acid reductoisomerase gets converted into 2,3-dihydroxy isovalerate, and this dihydroxy isovalerate in the presence of enzyme dihydroxy acid dehydratase gets converted into 2-keto isovalerate or valeric acid, and in the presence of branch chain amino acid transferase enzymes, this 2-keto isovalerate by transamination reaction gets converted into valine. Synthesis of phenylalanine and tyrosine, we have already discussed this in shikimic acid pathway and in the previous slides of overview. This is the corismate or corismic acid molecule. In the presence of corismate mutase enzyme, this corismate gets converted into prephenate, and this prephenate in the presence of enzyme prephenate aminotransferase gets converted into aerogenate or pre-tyrosine, and this gets converted into phenylalanine and tyrosine. And from this corismate, other than prephenate, we also get anthranilic acid, and from anthranilic acid it gets into another aromatic amino acid, that is tryptophan. These are the two important enzymes which are involved in amino acid biosynthesis. First one is the dehydratases. These are a group of lyase enzyme that form double and triple bonds in a substrate through the removal of water, means dehydration reaction. And dehydrogenases enzyme are a group of biological catalysts or enzymes that mediate in biochemical reactions removing hydrogen atom instead of oxygen. So this is all about the amino acid biosynthesis. Okay, these are the references if you want to know more